Hi guys, it's me, Canada from the Hot Toddy Nation, and I am doing my first ever Creepypasta review. I decided to do this because I am recording this on Halloween night, so I, want to do something that was, sort of, maybe either scary or sort of Halloween themed. And I went with, creepypasta, because, what's better to read? What's better to read on Halloween than the creepypasta? The creepypasta I will be reviewing is called Mr. Widemouth. I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but I wouldn't say it's a bad creepypasta. It's a good story. There are some things about it that really take me out of the story, and we'll discuss that after I tell you what the story is about. Story sort of starts out as like a flashback in a way, about this, boy who tells you, about this sort of traumatic event, or not really traumatic, but sort of like a weird, creepyish memory that he had when he was a child. And what it was is that, when he was about 5, he moved into this old house, sort of old, I guess, sort of Victorian style house. And, on his birthday, I guess somewhere around then where he moved in, he got sick, so he had, stay, bedridden for a while. In that time he was bedridden, he met with this sort of, he befriended like this sort of, as it's described as sort of a Furby-like character, sort of Furby-like, so I guess, think of that, but, more, I guess realistic in a way. He ends up befriending him, and it sort of, he explains it as only he can see him, so it's like sort of his imaginary friendship. The first time that they meet, nothing really happens. They sort of, read books and things like that. The second thing is that, on the second day, they end up playing, and Furby takes him to, I guess, this room where he's not allowed. He's not allowed in this room. Well, just Furby says that, that there is a trampoline right outside, sort of, like if you were to look out the window, that would describes that there is a trampoline just outside this window on the ground floor, outside. It says if you jump on it, if you jump out this window, there will be a trampoline out there. Well, the boy sort of, slowly figures out, well, it's not really said that he does figure it out to the very end, that Mr. Widemouth might, be lying. So, he says no about that, and Mr. Widemouth sort of gets mad at him. But not like, angry mad, he sort of, understand. Well, the next day, he ends up meeting Widemouth again the next day, and he says that I have some fun toys that we could juggle, and those happen to be knives. Well, the boy understands that he's not supposed to touch knives, and, if he did, he would get serious trouble. So he says no, and this is where Mr. Widemouth sort of gets a little bit madder than what he was before, but, he understands. Well, after a while, he eventually, the next day, he eventually is able to not, he's able to get out of bed and, is not sick anymore and is going to play. Well, at that time, Mr. Widemouth tells him that down this path, in this wood that is near their house, there is a place that he could go to, that they could both go to. Well, fortunately, he doesn't go with him, because, it's about, he has to go back inside, because I think he says that, it's about lunchtime, so he goes back inside. Well, at lunchtime, his mother tells him that, or his mother or father, I believe, tells him that they'll be moving out of this house into another place, in another state. And he says okay, and he kind of wonders if he should tell his imaginary friend, Mr. Widemouth, that he's moving. Well, he doesn't. And this turns out to be a very good thing, because the next, when it's time to move, he wakes up pretty early because, they had to get out on the road. And, when he leaves and gets on the car, he looks up at his bedroom window and sees Mr. Widemouth holding a knife. So, yeah. Well, it cuts back 5 years later, or, not 5 years, but years later when he's an adult. And, he goes back and he sees that the place is burnt down. And he sort of goes into this story that Mr. Widemouth must have been, like, attached to the house, because he doesn't see him when he goes back. So it's like when the house was destroyed, whatever, if Mr. Widemouth was a demon or not, leaves. Well, he goes down and walks that path that, he was Mr. Widemouth says, and talked about before, and he ends up finding children's graves. It starts getting a little creepy. So, yeah, that's basically the summary of the story. As I said, the story is not bad. There's just flaws, and those flaws are that Mr. Widemouth is described as sort of being an imaginary friend, so no adult can see him, but there's never really been an age limit. There's never said to be an age limit. What is it, 5 years old, that, if you're 5 and onwards, can you see him? Is there a turnoff point at this? What is the age limit that people can see him? Also is, can, a baby see him? Also, another one is that he's the only boy that's ever not listened to him. It sounds weird that he'd be the only boy that would, not listen to him, unless, he's the only one that's ever gotten away, moved out of the house before, Mr. Widemouth has ever gotten him. So, yeah, also another thing is, no one talked about the cemetery before they, the real estate agent or whoever sold these people their house for that time point that they were, I guess, renting this, never talked about the graveyard that's near their house. I know, this is those points that I don't like about the story. It's the age limit with the kid is very over the place. You don't know, can he see them when they turn 10 or 11, when they start going into preteen? When can kids start seeing him? Or is it always a baby, or is it it seems kind of weird that Mr. Widemouth would kill a baby, So yeah, those are some problems I have with the story. As I said before, it's a good story. It's okay. It has its problems in the story. I just want to say before I end this off is Happy Halloween to all you guys who enjoy read my fanfic videos. I'm really glad that people are, watching those, hearing about these great fanfics that I reviewed. I'm sorry about the last one. I was kind of in a rush. Just like this one, I'm kind of rushed. I've tried recording this one and Anastasia one so many times. I've also been trying to record this one so many times. So I'm afraid it might be in a rush, but so yeah, I'm very sorry if this turns out very rushed. And I will be doing another MLP story soon. It's not going to be a long one because I'm trying to read this currently really long one, but I might do a one-shot MLP story next. So yeah, it's pretty much all I have to say. So I hope you guys have a happy Halloween. Also, if this video comes out, before, after Halloween, November the 1st or November the 2nd, then happy Halloween to all you guys. And I guess this is where I say goodbye. So goodbye to all of you.